Live coaching, live coaching. I am live and coaching. Live coaching, live coaching. Nice. Let's go to Discord. Find the Discord of the guy we're coaching and let's read through his notes. Actually, no. You know what? Let's send this to everyone. Let's share it on Twitter too. No, I'll leave Twitter alone for now. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna try this thing. I'm gonna try to piggyback one of my popular tweets. I'm gonna piggyback the tweet. One of my hello, how are you guys doing? I'm gonna try and what I'm gonna try and do. I just put a tweet out, and as it gains its initial views, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna be like, also, oh, live coaching on stream right now. Dot dot. And then yeah, that's how I'm gonna do this from now on. Every time I go live, I'm gonna do a tweet that has potential to go viral, or like a cool tweet, and then link to the live channel. Oh, we got a like from Europe on our tweet. Nice, nice. Says it right here. Europe liked the tweet. That's pretty cool in my opinion. Hello, how you doing? So yeah, for those of you who don't know, this is my new live coaching channel. Basically, I had a live streams channel. I liked it. Or no, I used my main channel as my live stream channel. Um, and then it got, and then basically I'll show you guys the graph. Actually, I won't show you the graph because I have to show away like money statistics if I do that. Oh, is it already won? All right, I'll see you guys. Bye. I'm gonna go coach now. Hello.
Hello.
How you doing?
Okay, I can't hear you. I just have to restart my PC.
No worries.
Just a minute.
No worries. Yeah, basically I made a live channel because my views took a dip. Like I was having good view numbers, good view numbers, good view numbers. And then they took a massive dip when I started streaming. So now I have a live coaching channel. And we're just waiting on this guy to finish his thing, and then we'll start some live coaching. Why does it? What I don't get is on this channel, and it wasn't doing this on my last channel, it'll start this
Yeah.
graph.
Hello.
Oh, how's it going?
Ah, fine. Now I can hear you.
Nice, nice. So let's see. What were we working on last time? Um, Micros were very close. Fast, slightly off. And okay.
Yeah, long
Okay,
time
I
ago.
see what I think I was trying to get at. You want to show me your Want to do a live death match again for me, and I can see if you're still looking like you're doing what you were doing.
Okay.
Because based off my notes, it looks like what you were trying to do was you were trying to flick fast enough you could hit targets before they moved away from you.
Yeah.
All right, nice. How do you feel your progress on that issue's come?
Mm, again, I reached some interesting improvement. It's just like I had to go to the military school for 1 month,
Yeah,
so that slowed me down a bit.
no worries.
But but yeah, I'm more accurate and faster than before,
Nice.
and I reached some how can I say that goals that I a long time I don't reach. Like I went back to Immortal 3 and I end the season with like 1.3 KDA on
Mm-hmm.
KD sorry on Valorant, so it's quite big.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel a lot of improvement,
All right, nice.
and yeah, and always the same stuff. My headshot percentage, accuracy is better than before, and yeah,
Nice.
that's
All
why
right.
I'm coming back because I feel it works.
Yes, perfect, perfect. So what I'm gonna look at, I'm gonna be a bit drawn to seeing how your issues I was seeing before worked, and then I'm gonna help, and then I'm gonna look for other issues as well.
Yeah. It's like I feel it's I'm way better than before, but I still feel like I have some trouble to micro adjust. I don't know how to
All
explain it.
right.
Or it's always the same stuff. Targets moving, it's always a bit harder than
Mm-hmm.
yeah than
Okay, nice. You really seem to net that so well. How tightly do you think you're holding your mouse?
can you repeat? Sorry.
Um, the muscles in your hands and your arm and stuff, how tight on your mouse do you feel they are?
That's not really low.
Hmm?
That kind of question. That kind of question is maybe a bit too specific for my English. Sorry.
Okay, hold up. What's your native language?
French. So,
French.
but I have a good understood. But now
All right. Hmm.
I just can say my mouse grip is palm.
Mm-hmm. What mouse are you using?
A new mouse. I just changed like 2 weeks before the Asus ROG.
Okay.
The last one, the ROG Arc Ace, they made with MLab. It's a new one.
All right. I used some Google Translate to figure out what I was trying to say, and I sent it as a DM.
Like, uh, attendu.
It might not have translated perfectly. Google Translate isn't
Yeah,
perfect.
but I get the point. Mm, I don't really think my hand is really tight.
You think it's tight, not relaxed?
No, no, just I feel like I'm relaxed.
Okay.
I don't like to take my mouse too how we say that too strongly, hardly.
Mm-hmm.
I try to always mm, get my grip calm, not too tight,
Hmm.
relaxed. And because of the book you told me to buy,
Oh, nice, nice. You bought that. That's pretty good.
the yeah,
Indiana Tennis. Yeah, I
it,
tell everyone if I recommend a book, it's that book.
yeah, right. And they say you don't have to think too much.
Yeah,
It's not useful
yeah,
to like change your grip or your
yeah.
sensitivity or that kind of stuff if you don't feel comfortable and you think too much. It's better to just
Not think too much. Yeah, it's good not
yeah.
to think too much.
And yeah, that's why I removed the Valorant tracker and all that kind of stuff too, because I
Yeah,
was
that does
too.
kind of throw people off at times, I found. All
I
right.
was thinking too much on the rank and that kind of stuff. So I made a book. I already read it 2 times,
Uh-huh.
and yeah, I think it's an interesting book.
Yeah, very good book.
hmm I don't really like to buy that kind of books because for me it was always a bit overrated. Like it's a miracle technique to, but not gonna lie, this book helped me a lot.
Nice.
So yeah.
Hmm. So I'm guessing a lot of the dynamic clicking scenarios I gave you were horizontal.
Yeah.
All right, so what I'm gonna do, a lot of the times when you miss moving enemies, or when they're moving back, forth, all those things. So we're gonna make a routine that contains some vertical moving dynamic clicking, right?
Okay.
Yeah. And let me think. Yeah, vertical moving dynamic clicking because that's what it is. And then we're also gonna try and get you better at making those small, precise micros. And I think I got some good scenarios, or at least a few good scenarios to help with that.
Because actually, I doing the one where targets are moving from left, right,
Yep.
fast.
And you're good at smoothly approaching them, which I can tell. But I can also tell that when you get close to someone who's like switching back and forth and you fail, you
Yeah.
then kind of collapse. And when someone is moving vertically relative to you, you're gonna collapse.
Yeah, I'm struggling at that kind of stuff. Dynamic scenarios are really hard for me.
Yeah.
I'm really more like something like this. When I fail to touch the target on the first move, I feel
Yep.
like I stressed. I don't know why.
Yep.
And it's harder.
Yep. That's techniques that can be worked on. Let's go to Kovacs.
Okay.
Let me know when that's up.
And just a question about the fact you change the site is not more MetaFi.
Mm-hmm.
You still do the like you did on the MetaFi stuff,
Yeah, we're
a
just still
package with a lot of
since you
lessons because I'm
already
yeah.
purchased, right? I'm just
Mm-hmm.
finishing up your Metafy things. We're not booking through Metafy anymore. I'm just like, because Metafy pays the second that I get the thing done. So you got, what's it called? I got the money I needed from like you ordering your lesson, and we don't really need to go through them anymore because I don't use Metafy anymore, and then you can just submit the VOD to me on like our DMs, and I'll just look at it once I get it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then are you talking about like for your remaining sessions or for anything after this? Are you saying?
I'm talking about after this because I think after this I'm reaching like the last lessons,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm probably gonna need one, maybe two more. So I
Mm-hmm.
was thinking about that.
All right.
And it's always easier to talk with you because you know your stuff.
Yeah, yeah, I know what you mean. So basically, there's a new site, gamercoach.gg. I'll show you
Mhm.
this. I'm gonna share my screen, and since I stream my coaching sessions, I'm gonna do a little gamer coach promotion while we do this. So basically, this is the site, right? It's a very nice looking site. You come on the site, go to coaches, go to Kovacs, and I'm right here. Um, as you can see, I only right now am selling the lesson, not the whole training plan anymore. Because what I
Mhm.
found happened a lot of the times with the training plans is that people would come on the site, book a training plan, right?
Yeah.
Schedule one lesson, and then after that, they just wouldn't maybe submit me my VOD, and then like half of them actually submitted the VOD on time, and then like half of them didn't, and then like almost no one came back for the 30-minute recession, and it just was like, why are you, it felt like, why am I charging people for all this stuff and they're not even taking advantage of it? It just felt stupid to me that that was a
Yeah.
service. So I stopped offering it because people stopped following through with it. So right now there's just the one live session.
Okay.
All right, cool. So let's see, what do I want to work on with you today? Go to online scenarios. Online scenarios, that's online playlists.
Yep.
Search up the letters OCH and then the word click. So C, no space, CLICK. Top one.
First one.
Yep. And let's see you try to play this. Challenge. Play it.
This one. So.
Surprised you have a 61 on this.
Ooh.
Have we played this before?
I think yes. One
Go
like
into
this at
challenge mode,
least.
not.
On the rest shit, yeah,
Okay,
I
it's
have
on
it.
your recession playlist. All right. Go to the challenge mode and
Mm-hmm.
let's do a challenge for this. Right. You'll have to
Yeah.
click on the. I think you'll have to click the play and then pause it. Hit like play, pause, and then click challenge. I think.
What challenge
Yeah,
there?
just so we have limited time and stuff. Let's play it. Interesting. How much time do you spend aim training per day?
1 hour
1 hour.
more.
All right.
Depends on the place you give me. Sometimes I go fast. Sometimes I need some break when
Okay.
I have a long day of work or something like
Do you
this.
want to do a full hour? Do you want to keep going with the full hour, or do you want me to shorten that?
Uh, for me, it's okay 1 hour, but what do you think is the best?
I usually just go off what people actually do because a lot of people don't really. Because it's more important to me that you just do what you need to do, and like or do the playlist every day that you can, rather than doing the playlist a lot. If that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Well, we can see
All right,
that's
so the first thing that I noticed is you're very shaky when you're moving around the screen, right?
yeah.
So let's try and hit done. Let's try and go to control sphere. The word control and the word sphere with no space between them. Um, do you know how to spell those?
Mm-hmm.
All right, nice.
Control the sphere like this.
Nice. Yep, top one. Play it.
And same thing, challenge.
Challenge, yeah, challenge. It's already on challenge though. And you can restart it so you actually get a score if you want.
Oh, it's select. Okay.
Do you like these visuals for tracking? Some
Mm.
people prefer something with a bit of texture so they can kind of tell where the bot is in 3D space rather than it just looking like it's floating through a void.
No, for me it's okay.
All right, cool. All right. So what I want you to do is when you're behind the target, move a bit faster to try and get back on it, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All
Do
right,
it
try.
now.
Yep. Do it now. Really focus on getting back on it. And try not to make that a flicky motion, but still like but more of a steady acceleration onto the target where when you get back on the target, you're able to continuously track it, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
I
Nice.
understand what you say, but it's really hard for me.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. It takes effort, and that's why we're doing this. So you get that. Now try to go back to OCH click and try to change your micro adjustments into smoother accelerations. You weren't doing it perfectly, but just try to apply that technique. So OCH click. Nice, play it. Nice.
Like,
Like, remember how we would get back onto the target? And then click it the second you're on it. You're not trying to track the bot.
okay.
The second you're aware you're on the target, click it.
Uh,
And you can flick between the bots. It might be a bit hard to do it at first because you're so focused on trying to apply a new technique, but after like a bit, try to flick between the bots.
ah, I
All right,
understand the point.
that was a brutal. Obviously, you did very bad that run. So, like, very bad. Because you were focusing on a new technique and struggling a lot with it. Like, we could already tell from your run in the control sphere that you'd be very bad at the smoothness. And then to top it all off, you would go very smooth on your flicks to be able to focus on being smooth in this scenario, which ended up resulting in you wasting even more time. And then you ended up kind of tracking the bots, and it just kind of became a shit show, which is fine. But just work on that. Try to be a bit smoother without sacrificing too much speed, and you don't want to track the bot. Let me put this in DMs. OCH click. Be a bit smoother. Don't No need to sacrifice too much flick speed once comfortable. Um, yeah, that's pretty much it. Just be smooth and try and not sacrifice too much flick speed. So,
Mm-hmm.
cool. Um, what else do we want to do? Let me think for a minute. Um, sorry, I'm thinking. We've already done the control sphere. Oh, right, I know what I want to see. I just gotta remember the scenario name. Let me launch Kobex real quick. Alright, nice. Kovacs. Now it loads. Um, oh wait, it's in a local playlist, but it's completely frozen. Just give me a second. I love
No
this scenario, I
problem.
just forget its name. This will help a bit with the smoothness, but also a bit with your micro adjustments. Basically, it's a tracking scenario, so what I've noticed in you is that your crosshair almost just gets stuck when you're trying to make micro adjustments on people, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, alright, search up Pasu Micro Track Easy.
Micro.
Track Easy.
This one.
Yep. Play it. Basically, this will force you to make those small mouse movements and try to be continuous. See how you're flicking a little bit to the bot? Like you'll like move the mouse and then you'll pause, then you'll move, then you'll pause.
Mm-hmm.
Try to have your mouse continuously moving, like moving all at the same time, always moving.
Yeah, I see my problem. It's really like I don't track the bot. It's like I do lots of micro adjustments.
Yeah, try not to do that. Try to be very
Yeah.
steady and small with the tracking motions, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you'll fight that lack of precision. So, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna make you a playlist right now,
Mm-hmm.
online. Let me find new playlists. Yeah, we started this thing a while ago, so let's see, you probably had me as a coach back when I took like months to make play, or like, yeah, there was a point where I took way too long to make people's playlists. I'm not sure if you had me as a coach back then, but nowadays I
Um,
just do it right at the end of the session.
okay.
Yeah. How long did I take to make your playlist?
Last time you made it instantly. We finished the session and you made the playlist instantly and you sent
Yeah,
me.
yeah. Nice, nice. There was a time like a while ago where I'd take not months, but like a full week sometimes to make a playlist, and it was just
Mm-hmm.
not good. So I fixed that. That was like one of the first things I learned not to do coaching. Passive micro track easy. Is there a not easy version of passive micro track? Wait, there's not a not easy version? That's actually really interesting. Um, all right, so control sphere. And then extra control sphere 1, then extra control sphere will go 20% slower. Alright, that's a good list of scenarios. How many scenarios is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So 5 runs each, that's pretty reasonable. So, what is the point of your playlist? Well, let me walk you through it. Basically, we start with a one wall six target small, then a few raw mouse control clicking threes, and static clicking takes up the first 20 minutes. That's just basic micro adjustment practice stuff that's good to get in. It'll help you, but it's it's good to get in. It'll help you with the micro adjustments, but it's not our main approach or our new approach for targeting it, if that makes sense, right?
Mm-hmm.
I get pretty small with them as you were very precise with your micros, but just off by a bit. And when you were off by a bit, you couldn't land it. And then what we get into is Pasu, OCH click, and smaller versions of OCH click, which are our approach at dynamic,
Mm-hmm.
right? Which basically targets with X and Y movements that you try to be smooth when you hit. Um, for these, that'll help you a lot more with the more complex strafe patterns that you kept encountering and failing at because you were pretty good when the person was just moving in one direction horizontally and you just had to aim onto them. You were pretty good at that. And when they like did AD strafing but it was still horizontal, you were all right at that. But when they were moving in a way that they had some form of vertical motion relative to you and it just collapsed you.
Yeah.
So that's what those are for. And then we got the passive microtrack control sphere, extra control sphere, extra control sphere 20% slower. These are all relatively easy tracking scenarios that are very precise. They'll again help you with that vertical aspect of hitting a moving target, reading a moving target, and all those things. But it'll also help you be a bit smoother, more. It'll also help you, sorry, um, summon like the level of precision you need in your mouse to be able to make those very small micro adjustments that you're struggling in game because in these what you're basically doing is forcing yourself to always be moving your mouse a very slight amount, which is something you struggled a lot with.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So so dynamic. Um shift enter, click once on target. Shift. No, that's good. Static dot dot focus on
Do I have to
fast
do the
clean. Yeah,
do I have to do the playlist in random? I used to play the playlist on randomized.
I'd prefer you play it in random because that would make it more entertaining
Okay.
and it'd be easier to focus. But it's up to you. I didn't order this in anything other. Sometimes I'll order playlists in a way that makes sense. For this one, I just ordered it assuming you'd play it in random since it's such a long playlist. If I wanted it to make sense, then I would have probably gone in like a different order, if that makes sense.
Okay, no problem. I used to play in totally or randomized, so
Yeah, I probably would have gone. Oh, sorry, I probably would have gone tracking before dynamic. That's what I was gonna say.
okay.
Yeah, I lost track of my thoughts for a second. Tracking. Be smooth. Don't trail. You know what trailing is?
Yeah, it's what I do. The little I know what it means. It's okay.
All right, nice. So, do you have any questions left for me?
Nope.
All right,
Perfect.
perfect. We'll talk later.
Yeah.
All right, bye. We're hopping to the next session now. Nice. How's it going? Hello?
Can you hear me?
Oh yeah, you're just really quiet. Hold on. Talking
Okay.
again?
Yeah, you might. I think you have to.
I already have you on the 200 volume. You're still very quiet.
I'm so sorry. It's my mic. I'm gonna try to scream
No
as much
worries.
as I can.
Is there any way you can like bring it closer to your face or turn it up within your PC? Like if you go to settings, audio input, or I'm not sure what the exact file path is. Let me search it real quick. Settings. Are you on Windows?
Yeah. I already tried and boost the mic, but I think it's just broken or something.
Alright, you're a lot louder now. You're actually pretty good right now.
Okay. Nice.
Alright, cool. So what are you trying to improve at?
Well, aiming
Cool.
in general, I think.
Cool.
The game I play is Apex,
Okay.
and I haven't been practicing specifically for that game. Aim training wise, I've been just practicing overall aim,
Okay.
and that's about it. I have like 500 hours.
So you want to get your aim training specific to Apex?
Yeah, improve the mechanics in game. That's where I wanna improve my aim. No, not
Alright,
just
cool.
overall, but you know, yeah.
So,
I feel like my I've been improving a lot because at the beginning I started practicing. At, I think 2 hours, no, 1 hour a day for like a month, and then I decreased it because I was asking a lot of people, "Hey, is this worth it?" Because I didn't know anything. I'm new to MNK. I think I only have a year.
mm-hmm,
And some people said, no, you don't need aim training at all. Just play the game. Some
mm-hmm,
people said, yeah, but I feel like I don't have like the genetics of aiming, so
mm-hmm.
I have to like put in the work in order to
Okay, nice, nice.
improve. Yeah, yeah, that's right.
Let's see. What are we gonna what are we going to do now? Alright, do you have any like Apex gameplay like that
Yeah,
we can use, like some VODs where you just have like a bunch of kills in succession?
no, I don't have.
Okay, do you have any form of gameplay VODs at all?
Yeah, yeah.
Alright, cool.
Let me show you. This one. Okay.
Nice. It just flash up until any gunfight doesn't have to be a kill. Alright, nice. We're just bouncing around. There was a fight, and now we're not at that fight. Alright.
Yeah, right here's a fight.
All right, launch up Kovacs for me.
Okay. All right. This is what I've been playing. Like this mainly, like for warm ups. I think.
Nice. Let's see it. All right, sorry. So let's see what your playlist is that you normally play.
Yeah.
Control
Yeah.
Sphere OW. Did I make that? No, I don't think
Which,
so. Show it to me.
which one?
The one you're on right now.
Oh, this
No, I
one.
didn't make that. Never mind. I for. All right. Show me what your normal playlist contains.
I start with either this one or the smooth.
All right.
I start with the smooth precision from Full Take. I don't
How
finish it. I
small
only
is Pass You Track Smooth Small? I'm just looking at these to. Okay, would you say that's the small spot on the playlist?
I will say so. I don't
All right,
I
cool,
don't
cool.
go to here. Only play one up to here.
Mm-hmm.
Then I go to like scenarios that I've seen Apex players play.
All right.
Like, which are these ones?
Slide through them real quick.
Okay, it's the
All right.
long strafe, the fast strafes, this one, which is like a we can move in that one,
All right,
this
nice.
one, and then this one. But I suck at dot clicking.
That's
It's
fine. It's
the
not really
worst.
that important for Apex.
And
All right, let's see the top scenario again. Balanced long strafes. Auto balanced long strafes. Just play it. Are you not able to move in the scenario?
no. My hand is shaking more than usual. $15,000 is my max.
Okay. Let's see the fast strafes now.
Uh, I feel like micro adjustments are really complicated for me.
Mm-hmm. Okay. What are we Making now. All right, go to online scenarios. Go to smoothness trainer 60. You'll have to search
Smooth.
it.
Oh.
Or no, wait, it just type in search up the word smooth actually. Smooth or search in smoothness. Smoothness. See where it says smoothness training? It's like it's like fifth from the bottom, I think. Close to the bottom.
This one.
Or yeah. Play that. Oh,
Okay.
never mind, get out of that. Or what's your FOV at right now?
It's 110.
110, okay, that shouldn't be what if it's the scenario I want, that's not the right one. Hit escape. Go to the 61. The top, rated 4.6, very close to the top. Play it. Yeah, that's more like it. Play this. Alright, so notice how you can be very accurate on the scenario, but you tend to sometimes get thrown off when it switches directions, and that's about it, because you don't know exactly when it'll switch directions.
Mhm.
What I want you to try is to use the bot's length to your advantage in this scenario. So replay it, but when you replay it, basically if the bot's moving left, you want to be on the right edge of the bot so that when it stops, you have the most time to react, and when it changes directions, you have the most time to react. Yeah, just try and see how you're definitely struggling with it a bit because it's a new technique, but see how the
Yeah.
time where you would get thrown off, you're not anymore. You definitely lack some precise tracking control that we'll work on, but this is just something else I want you to work on.
Okay. That's really hard.
Alright, nice. Not bad. Yeah, it's a hard thing to do, but here, go back to the fast strafes. Local playlists. Auto balance fast strafes. That is a cool scenario. I do like that. I'm probably gonna put that in your routine anyways. Now try to do it in the fast strafes. If you
These are the.
actively work on trying to be on the edge opposite to the motion, you'll be thrown off less often.
Okay. Okay, but I see what you're saying.
I see what yeah, you can understand it. You're just
Yeah.
struggling to have the precision to
Yeah,
do
right
it.
now, yeah.
Yeah, no worries about that. That's exactly what we're gonna work on. One thing after what we're doing next. So the next thing I want to
Okay.
see is online scenarios. Go to close, fast, strafes, invincible. You'll have to type out the full thing. Yeah, close, fast, strafes, invincible. Let's start with the easy version for you.
Okay, this one.
Yes.
Okay.
Play it. Hold on. In scenarios, you can practice edge tracking. So think of the bot as a location and a direct and a velocity rather than a velocity and you can pause this for a second while I talk if you want. Think of the bot as a location and a velocity rather than a velocity and a location. So, what's the difference between this mean? If you think of it as a location and a velocity, what you're doing is first you're trying to move towards the bot, and then you're trying to match the bot's speed, direction, and all those types of things, right?
Yeah.
So, what I noticed a few times with you is the bot, you're here, let me share my screen. I'm just gonna do this in Google Drawing so I can actually control the environment. Hold on a second. Hold on 2 more seconds. Drive, new, drawing. Alright, see this? Let's say this thing's the bot, right? You see this?
Yeah.
And this is your crosshair? What would happen is the bot's moving this way, right? And your
Yeah.
crosshair's following it this way.
Yeah.
And then the bot changes directions. And all of a sudden, your crosshair, which is still to the right of the bot, starts moving to the right, further away from the bot. And then all of a sudden, the bot changes directions again, and all of a sudden, you're back where you started, right? When
Yeah.
you could have, when the bot changed directions, kept moving your crosshair towards the bot, they would have intersected and you would have been tracking, gotten some points, right?
Yep.
So try to think more. So try to prioritize thoughts on where is the bot rather than um what direction is it going in, or it can kind of throw you off.
Okay. Instead of trying to predict,
Um,
maybe, or
I I I I think this would be different than trying to predict. Trying to predict is usually like when you're on the bot and it's been going. That is what I'm going to go over next. But it'd be like when you're either on the bot or behind the bot and it's been going one direction for a while and you're expecting it to change. So all of a sudden you'll stop or you'll change and it just doesn't change and just keeps going, right?
okay.
That's the issue with
I see.
predicting. Um, so yeah, don't do that. What would happen a lot of times with you would be in the long strafes, right? It'd be long strafing, and you'd be basically the close fast strafe spot has a couple long strafes every run where it just keeps going, going, going. Similar to how a person in game might have a few instances where in between their 80 they'll go for a bit longer to throw you off, right? Have you noticed that in game?
Yeah. Yeah.
All
Absolutely.
right, nice. So what you'll I don't play a ton of Apex, so I don't know too much about how people tend to strafe in that game. So, all right, so I'm just making sure that that does happen. But like basically what you want to do is you want to catch up with it. You want to just keep moving towards the person or the bot instead of pausing, being thrown off, pausing, being thrown off, and all those things, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Cool. Let's replay the scenario and see if you can fix those two things. Or at least be aware of them. You can restart it, yeah.
Uh, yeah, I didn't see it. Let's try again.
Hold on.
Oh.
First, so you see short strafes, the short strafes? Basically when
Uh,
it's like going 80, when the bot looks like it's a person going 80, 80, 80.
oh yeah.
What you'll do is you'll do a very fast, almost like a flicky motion to the bot, right?
Yeah.
And then you'll get to the bot and you'll go past it because all of a sudden the bot switches directions because it's doing its short strafes. So then all of a sudden you're like, oh no, now I'm on the right of the bot, now I'm on the left, and you just keep switching directions. So all of a sudden you go left, right, passing briefly over the bot and landing like a shot or two, and
Yeah.
then missing like 20, which in game you'll be lucky if your rate of fire lines up with hitting one or two, right?
Yeah.
So what you want to do in that situation instead is slow down and be a bit smoother and just move towards the bot. Don't panic on getting there fast because again, it's short strafing, it's not going to go too far. You don't want to go around the bot and then end up having to go back and forth and back and forth. So just be a bit smoother.
Okay.
All right, let's try it now. Hit restart. And
Right there.
okay, so towards the end, I think you started to feel like, oh no, why am I not doing as well? And you started to go back to your old ways. But for the first 55 seconds of that run, you were
Yep.
very smooth. Your issue was that, and you definitely performed a lot better in the short strafes. Not once did I see a point where you were flicking past it back and forth like you had been, right? And did you
Yep.
notice that as well?
Mhm.
All right, that's good. But what our issue was in this run was that in attempt to be smooth, you started doing a lot of trailing. Do you know what that is?
No.
Basically, imagine the bot. Here, let me go back to my screen. Google drawing. Let's go back to this drawing. Let's say this is the bot again, right?
Yeah.
Um, and this is the bot's shadow. Wherever the bot is, the shadow was a second, wherever the bot was a second ago, the shadow is. That makes sense, right? So if the
Yeah.
bot's moving this way, when you're trailing, what you're essentially doing is
One frame behind.
being to front. Yeah, exactly. You're tracking the shadow. So your crosshair, everything's moving as one unit. Your crosshair is staying on the shadow. So it's good to be smooth, be steady like you were being, but what happened was you took it a little bit too far to the point where you wouldn't even give yourself enough acceleration to get back onto the target. So what you got to do, you got to find a balance where you're not flicking around, flicking around, flicking around, and you're also not staying behind the bot for a super extended period of time. Like remember, your flicks would probably get you to the bot in 50, maybe 100 milliseconds, right?
Yep.
Like a very fast period of time. And right now you'll be behind the bot for a full second. So there's a lot of wiggle room between those two things to be able to accelerate, right?
Yep.
All right, cool. Let's try it again.
Okay.
Trailing. When it goes on a long strafe, you lose confidence and you start predicting, so that's why you're falling off the bot. So don't predict the bot's pattern. Don't get all flicky on me. You're struggling, but I can tell you're trying. You were on pace to do a high score for the first half.
Yeah, it's harder when you have a lot of thoughts in your head. Like I'm thinking of all these things. Usually
Yeah.
when I play, I
And it's fine to not think while playing. That's a good thing. But just
yep.
you just gotta when you're practicing and trying to learn technique, keeping in mind whether or not you're doing the technique and trying to learn the technique is kind of essential.
Oh, yeah.
So where are we going from here? What do I want to explain with this? Hold on a second. Let me think out loud and then tell you what to do.
Okay.
So we've done enough of this. You got the technique down for close fast strafes, invincible easy, and you'll work on that for a little while, and then
Yep.
and that'll help you with this kind of strafing. But what I really want to work on, especially with you, is that really small, far away bot. So we're gonna start, or person, or bot, or whatever you want to face at any given moment. So we're gonna start with extra control sphere. You didn't type in. Yeah, there you go. Extra control sphere.
Okay.
Perf. Stop trailing, stop flicking.
Damn it.
Okay, so this scenario is what I would consider to be way too hard for you. One,
Yeah.
or actually 20% accuracy isn't even that bad for it. But I'd also consider it to be a good challenge scenario for your playlist.
Okay.
So,
So
what do I mean by that? It's I'll make you a playlist, don't worry. Um,
okay.
I think you're gonna play it, but there'll also be easier versions of it you play. Let's try the Blink 3 version. See it down there. Let's see if Extra Control Sphere Blink 3. I forget it's right down there. It's on your screen already. It's the second to last one with the 2.5 rating. So it's right there. Blink 3. Down, down, down.
This one.
There you go. Yep. Let's see if how you perform on this. Is this one smaller and faster?
Okay.
Yeah, it is. All right, let's go off this and let's try Blink 1. Type in Blink 1 or just type in Extra Control Sphere Blink. Let's try see Blink 1. Scroll down to that one and nope. Nope, that's mid-range Blink 1. Let's try Blink 1 normal. Just the bottom one.
But this one.
Yep.
Okay.
Play it and see how. Okay, yeah, I like this. This is small, very precise, but also slow. But it'll have blinks to throw you off where you have to. Yeah, don't reset. You don't need to reset. You don't need to reset constantly. We could just play
Okay.
the scenario. And you'll see, boom, every now and then. And in those, you don't want to over flick it. You want to smoothly get back to it. Nice.
Okay.
Nice. That'll help a bit with like the precise movements. It's again a hard scenario, and again we'll have easier versions at this size on the playlist.
Yeah.
But it's just a good scenario to work on. So,
Okay.
where do we want to go from here? Just thinking through my mental list of things I want to get through. Um, how long do you aim train per day? Have we already said this?
Now I only do 15 minutes
15 minutes a
just to
day?
warm up. Yeah.
Okay, cool. In that case, I think I might be able to make you a 1 by 1. What's your okay, Alex, nice. New edit it.
I feel like I have up to 1 hour.
Let's just use 15 minutes if that's what you do. Let's do that.
Okay.
Lower. 15 minutes. Okay, let me think. Seconds. I no UFO 60 seconds. Alright. That works. Let me just save this, make sure these are what I want. Hold on, I'm just pulling together a playlist and then we'll go into 2 of the scenarios I have you on. Yeah,
Okay.
that looks good. And yep, that looks good. Micro. Passive micro track, easy. Invincible. Those flash easy.
Do people like
Mm-hmm.
people like noted or like people that are at the 1% of the aiming community? Do they train overall aim like a lot?
I don't think
Or
Noted's really in the 1%. But I know what you mean. Or I guess he would, yeah, 1% for sure, 1% for sure. I was thinking like top tier, but I'm thinking overall aim. All right, here's an unpopular opinion. I feel like overall aim's kind of a bit of a bit of just like a non-existent concept, if that makes sense. Like people say, "Oh, I'm training overall aim." Almost never, like they're not. You can't really train all the different skills of aim, and even if you could, you wouldn't want to, because there's so many different things you can be working on, right? That it just doesn't make sense to try to train. There's so many different things that you can be working on that if you try to work on all of them at once, how would I explain this? There's so many different things you can be working on that if you try to work on all of them at once, right? What will happen is you'll miss some and you won't be focusing on your specific issues, your specific struggles. So the people who quote unquote would work on like the overall aim, they might focus on a lot of specific issues across a lot of different things. If that makes sense?
yeah,
Okay. So I would say it really depends on the person. Like honestly, most top players have just really just play one thing and get very good at that one thing and then don't play much of the rest of the things. So I wouldn't say that they're where do I want to go with this? I'd say to answer your question, I'd say I don't think most top players are working on their overall skills much, maybe like 50-50, but I also don't think it matters much because you're not trying to become top 1% of AIM community, you're trying to get better at Apex now.
yeah.
All right, cool. So let's work on let's work on one more. Oh yeah, what did I want? All right, so can you search up a scenario for me?
Yep.
Search up Plaza Low Ground. Easy. Yeah. That was an interesting question. I don't think anyone's actually ever asked me that. There's a space between low and ground. There you go, top one.
Okay.
The bottom one is your scenario, but this is just an extended version of that. I want to see how you play on this. Try not to trail. Okay, really, stop resetting every run. That's like cool if you're grinding for a high score, but what you're trying to do is just iron out some issues in your aim and improving game, so you do not need to be resetting this constantly. That makes sense? Does that make sense?
Yep.
Cool. Hmm.
Did the thing again.
See how you trail a lot?
Yeah.
Don't do that. So the point of this is basically when you turn horizontally, nothing really changes in terms of how you aim, right? Like, if you turn 60 degrees horizontally, you can basically define that as as whatever you want as 0 degrees. There's no real horizontal pole of motion or anything like that. In terms of vertical movements, there is a pole where, like, there's the uppermost limit and the lowermost limit. And because sensitivity is in centimeters per 360,
Yep.
if you are looking 60 degrees up, right, then a horizontal 360 will be a lot more centimeters. Will or a horizontal 360 will be the same thing as if you're looking straight at the ground. But because but the circle itself is a lot smaller if that's here, you know what? How to explain it here, replay this, but don't play anything. Look straight up. Now do a 360. See how see how you did almost no motion or literally no motion, but see how far you moved your mouse?
Yeah.
Now move it slightly down to like a couple degrees below 360. Now just move your mouse in a full 360. And now like aim around up there. Like aim between one of the two tiles on the ceiling. Like just move your mouse left and right between those two tiles. See how far you have to move your mouse for such little motion?
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. Like your sense gets distorted when you're very high up. So if you only practice on level horizontal ground, sometimes that can throw you off when you're playing Apex and when you have to look down like 30, 40, 50, 60 degrees to see someone.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
yeah,
that is, and I've noticed that in game every time you're like holding high ground and trying to aim down or
throws you off.
low ground. Yeah, that's yep.
So that's the point
Yes.
of this scenario and also Plaza High Ground. That's the other one we'll be playing. Let's play that now. Just
Okay.
swap the low for high, like highlight the low and just type in high. Yeah. A lot of times people will retype the entire scenario name just to change like one word or one letter, and it's like,
Okay.
yeah. All right, play it. Again, try to work on not trailing, right, and actually getting onto the target. And then once you're good enough with that while still being smooth, and then once you get good at that, try to work on edge tracking.
Okay. Like, what are the thoughts when not to trail, for example? What are
When I
okay? Let's.
corrected
Mhm.
I made a lot of tracking progress back in like about a year ago, I kind of was probably one of the last times I actually grinded aim trainers was last August when I tried to get rid of my trailing issue in Smoothbot. What I did was I'd basically just anytime I noticed myself, you are aware when you're trailing, right?
Yeah.
Basically, all I would do is I just consciously think trailing, 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 trailing until I stop trailing. Like just my mind would just be
Skull.
trailing, 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 and I'd know subconsciously that I had to fix my trailing, but I just make sure my entire mental being was focused on the fact that I was trailing until I was not trailing.
Okay.
Doesn't you don't have to focus on too much of the specific motor movements consciously. The unconscious mind can handle that. You just got to make sure your entire conscious mind is focused on the fact that you are trailing. And then once you get good at that in a specific scenario, and the scenarios are designed in kind of like a gradient where it starts out super easy, smoothness training 60, and you'll have an effortless time not trailing. You should be working on edge tracking to perfection. And then,
Okay.
yeah, and you got to make sure you don't flick so fast when you're getting back onto the target that it ends up hurting you. Because if you try to do the pace of flicks you're doing in the previous spot on this spot, it'll throw you off a lot.
I see.
And your total playlist ends up being 15 minutes and 30 seconds because I could only find a 90-second version of Plaza Low Ground and a 60 of Plaza High Ground. So, yeah.
Okay. That's fine.
So, basically, overall, your playlist is a gradient. Period. It
What
goes from what?
what
Oh
you
yeah, I'll
said?
send you a link to it. I'm just re I'm typing out what I just explained to you so that you can
Oh,
look
okay.
back at it, and I'm just thinking out loud while I'm typing. Goes from super easy to very challenging. The super easy scenarios focus on edge tracking. As it gets harder, shift the primary focus to not trailing and keeping smooth in fast strafes. Smooth, especially in fast strafes, period. Edge tracking is still important, but it takes a back burner once these issues present themselves. Finally, these scenarios shift again to more precise focus. A more precise focus. You focus on having the precise micro control to not trail in these scenarios. Trail and remain smooth in these scenarios. And then, very good, you may be able to edge track in control sphere itself, but you likely will not edge track anything else for a long. Alright, so basically your playlist, it's a gradient. I set it up so it would be the biggest, easiest, slowest, most predictable bot first, and the fastest, most unpredictable, smallest bot last, right?
Okay.
Let me get the share code for you. You know how to use share codes, right?
Mhm.
Alright, cool.
Thank-
It's a very simple tracking playlist, just goes from hardest to easiest. It's over a gradient. I really like the way it actually came out. But yeah, just work on edge tracking at the start and finish it off by working on being very precise and all those things. Do you have any questions for me that you want to get asked? Anything that you felt I didn't answer?
So far that's it. Because those are the issues that you identified,
All right,
and
cool.
yeah.
Do you want to elaborate a bit on why you asked that general aim question? Like, I want to make sure that there's not something that you want to talk about that I'm missing in terms of the general aim aspect.
Yeah, it's because at the beginning that's what I did. That's what I
Mm-hmm.
thought. It's just improve your. I put a lot of hours into playing the fundamentals routines in Voltaic, and not a lot of time, but I'm never sure if I'm in the right path to actually fixing my issues, and I
Okay.
because I don't have that much time. I need to like use the only time
Mm-hmm.
I have it available to like to the things that matter.
Yeah.
You know, like
Okay.
yeah.
So,
So that's yeah.
voltaic fundamentals are designed to improve at the voltaic benchmarks,
Mhm.
which I don't mean this as an insult to voltaic because they did what they could with the resources available to them in aim trainers, but those benchmarks are not a reflection of all of aim, right?
Mhm.
So they're pretty close, but they miss some pretty big key details. For example, in Apex, half your fight you were so far away from the people that they were 5 times smaller than anything on any voltaic fundamental benchmark anything, right?
Yeah.
And that was half your runs. So all of a sudden half the time you're not practicing the right size target, right?
Yeah.
Um voltaic fundamentals. And why do they do it that way? Well, because the routines center around improving at the benchmarks. The benchmarks are benchmarks, which means they have to be scenarios that line up with a score, that line up with points, right? Or a scenario that score lines up with a rank, which means the scenario has to have a consistent score. Which I tried designing benchmarks before. It's very hard to make the scenarios yield a consistent score consistently, if that makes sense, right? So how do you get a scenario to yield a consistent score? Well, you need it to be easy enough that people have a consistent accuracy, and on a tracking scenario that's too small, people just won't have a consistent accuracy. So that's why they do it the way they do it. They can't get the movement patterns they want and have scenario bots that are challengingly small. And then they just design their fundamentals to yield results on the benchmarks. So, yeah, that's why that
Okay.
kind of goes like that. And then as a result, a lot of people kind of misquote, and like there's so many people who've worked on like that project over the course of the years that it ends up just cycling through to new people who are more or less competent than the previous ones. And what I've found is some people claim that that works on general aim or all aspects of aim that can apply to all games. It's not true. We just
Yeah.
went over a specific example of why that's not true. There's a few others that I don't like, but basically, it's cool. It's not perfect, but it was a very good effort. I'll give it to him. Um, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where the term general aim comes from in reality. I think it's kind of a stupid concept because you can't really focus on all aspects of aim because there's just way too many different smaller things and smaller and smaller and smaller that you can keep getting into as you kind of look more into it. So
Okay.
just work on what you want to work on, like this kind of thing, and you'll improve. Like work on what your issues are and improving at them, and you will improve.
Yeah. Okay. So let's say without my genetics aiming, like okay, let's say I have zero. But if
I'm
I
sorry,
aim
I'm sorry,
train,
what?
let's say I have like zero genetics or talent towards aiming, right?
Okay.
And then let's say you coach me for like a period of time, like let's say 6 months, once
Mm-hmm.
a week, and I work on my issues and try to improve in different type of aiming. You think
You
I
don't need
can get at
weekly
least?
coaching sessions. No one has
No, I
ever.
know, I know.
Yeah.
But
What do I think you can get? What?
uh, but there will be improvements towards at least being a B plus aimer, for example, in years like ahead. If I continue to work on the things that I need
Yeah,
to work.
you'll definitely improve as long as you focus your practice, isolate the things, you'll see improvements, right?
Mhm.
Um, hmm, hmm.
Because if you go to the gym, you eventually get results, right? Like it's the same as the gym. Like if you go and then
It's a
work
motor
out and
skill. It's the gym makes a great analogy for explaining things, but it's not a great analogy for proving things because it's not the same. Like you can definitely use a gym example to be like, this is how the gym works, this is how aim works. So like just kind of explain things that you've proved separately. But it's different. It's more like trying to learn another motor like any sport or anything like that. Where you practice the sport, you'll develop skill in that sport over time, right?
yeah,
So if you specifically focus on doing specific things, um, you will get better at that specific thing. Like, for example, and that's just how it works. Exactly how far you'll get over a certain period of time, I don't know. It's very important that you stick. It's hard to predict how far someone can get over a certain period of time with how many factors there are in life. If you sleep 8 hours a night, you'll get a lot further than if you sleep six, because learning
oh
happens
yeah,
when you sleep. Um, if you play Apex 3 hours a day versus 30 minutes a day, your aim will progress a lot faster if you do the same aim training because you will have some aim improvement in Apex and you'll be working to apply your techniques in Apex. It just, it's more a matter of, hmm, it's really hard to say where you'll be. I'm not going to make any promises that you'll be at a certain point, but I think even if you follow this current routine for a month, check back with me in a month. Like set a reminder on your phone right now to talk to me in a month and let me know how far you've improved. I think you will see progress.
okay,
Well, you will see progress. That's just how practice works. The question is how much. And the only other thing that you need to see progress that I almost forgot is make sure whatever you practice in the aim trainer and struggle with in the aim trainer, you force yourself to apply to situations in game. If you get really good at being smooth and CFSI easy and the ground plazas and all those things, but when you go into Apex, you're no longer you just go back to being really flicky whenever someone's AD spamming. You won't see any in-game progress
okay,
because you're not applying the techniques. But once you start applying the techniques, you will see in-game progress. So make sure you're applying the techniques.
okay. Yeah, that's something I didn't do before, or even because sometimes I when I'm tracking, I for well, I haven't done it, but you try to correct your aim or proactively thinking about your aim in game. I'm just playing and yeah,
Yeah, I know what you
sometimes
mean. I
it
know what you
didn't.
mean.
Yeah,
It's just it's like in game after you have a fight, you know how you might think about, oh man, how could I have won that fight? Like, what decision did I make wrong? Why did I push this while you're dead?
mhm.
You know how you do that
Yeah,
to improve your game sense? At the same time, think, oh, did I apply the technique wrong? And then next time, the same way you'd try and make better decisions, try and work on applying the technique. Does that make
okay.
sense?
Mhm. Sounds good.
All right, cool. Anything else?
I think that's about it.
All right, nice. If that's all, we'll talk. Yeah, talk to me in a month. I want to hear. Set a reminder on your phone right now. Talk to me in a month. I want to hear how your aim's improving.
Sounds good.
All right, thank you. Bye.
I'm on. Bye.
All right, chat. Anyone have any questions before I kill the stream? Questions before I kill the stream. Questions, things you want answered. You should make a weird video idea. I aim coached myself. If I had the attention span to actually stick with aim training for long enough to see serious progress over the course of what would make sense for an I aim coached myself video, I would. Maybe like another few years from now, I might make a I aim, or like however long it takes, I'll make an I aim coach myself video about personal progress. That would be a cool idea, but I don't do it. The book was Inner Game of Tennis, and yep, that answers the two questions that were previously in chat, in case those guys are still in chat or if they come back to watch the VOD. Any other questions from anyone who's in chat right now? I'm gonna give it 20 seconds from now because I know chat delay happens, so once that hits the 30, I'm ending the stream. 9. Once that hits 30, I'm ending the stream unless anyone has questions. All right. Cool. Bye. Thank you.